Our guest speaker, been with Zinzino now, I believe, a decade, heard her story many times, but listened to her in London a few weeks ago at our leaders school, where she actually brought some numbers out. And I just want to share those. She may have this in her talk. I don't know. If I did, I've stolen it from her. But she showed a comparison where Zinzino was 10 years ago when she joined and what the numbers were of the whole company and what rank Orion was. 10 years later, her numbers, her own personal team numbers, are what the company was a decade ago. And she's now at that very same rank that our founder was when she joined. So here's a lady who has shown what's possible. She's such a giver in her willingness to teach and share with anybody who's willing to sit, whether it's her team or not. But she has a wealth of experience. She has a huge heart. She's our Zinzino elite president, Vibecke Parr.
Thank you so much, Dave, for your very lovely words. I'm blushing, so you made a big effort here. Today, I really want to share with you something that I have discovered during my 10 years with Zinzino. And first of all, we are heading, what Dave also said, into the summer month. And in Norway, everything closes down in July. So you can't find any office open, almost. But then when you build a global business, I realized that summer and holiday is really, really different from country to country. So Dave, in UK, you are doing your holiday in August. Here in Scandinavia, it's July. And in Germany, where I work a lot, they have holiday from the last week of June until first week of September. So imagine if we take a break all that summer. But the good news is that they split their holiday. So you always have somewhere and with someone to work with when you do this business. And what I would really love to talk about today is that the summer can be your warm-up round for your fall explosion. So the work you do now in July and in August will show up in your September volume. We know that everyone wants to have a new rank when we go to our amazing annual event in October. So now we need to identify the hungry ones, because everyone on the call today are from the director level and above, which means you are leaders. So you have a team to lead. And what I have learned is, even though Zinzino, like Dave said, it has been a huge, huge growth and also change in the tools we have. And even though we have Gabriele on calls teaching us how to use the team system, I don't know if it's the same like I experience, but I get people all the time that create their own systems. Does anyone else experience that? And even though they create their own systems, I can't see they are growing any quicker. Isn't that strange? And it happens over and over and over again. I think I made a presentation and then I thought I will not use it, but I think I will use it just to be on track myself. So I will see if I am able to share the screen. Yes, I am. So here, when I go into the back office, we all know this. We have in the Get Started program, in the back office, we have everything. We can share our concept pages, we can share the business page, we have lots of amazing videos. When you look into the Get Started training, I get a bit surprised, even people who are at diamond level and they have not seen the videos yet. All the top leaders has covered the 10 parts of this system. So you will get inspiration just by looking into those videos. So if you haven't done that, please do that, because it's easier to share and teach your team if you know what actually exists. When you scroll down and you get to your toolbox, you find the Express Start, which is the Cincino Bible. And what I really like is to show this, the method of operation. We know that we need to do all these steps to grow a business. And what I really discovered, and I think this is just a couple of years ago, was even though that I was trying to follow the system, even though I was having one-to-ones with how to prospect, how to do 100 name list, how to contact them, it went really, really slow. Because if you want to scale, if you want to grow a big team, we always talk about duplication, don't we? And what I have also discovered is I got some coaching. People reach out to me from my team because they want to have coaching. They are stuck. Mostly they are stuck in platinum or in diamond level, and they have huge, huge, huge goals with Cincino. And then I start to go through this to discover where are their missing part. And honestly, some of them tell me that they do the 100 name list, but they do not know how to use it. Some of them tell me that they are not familiar or confident on doing the business presentation. Some of them say that they are not confident on talking to people that have other backgrounds than them. And when you look further down, when you come to the duplicating business, the education of partners, which I think this group should be really, really serious about, the education duplication part, because I know that we have get started trainings. I know that all of you have team meetings. And what I have really appreciate is the ones that I see develop as leaders are the ones who take responsibility themselves to create their own team training. And please don't feel that your ego getting hurt when you see that some of your leaders or some of your team want to do their own team meetings or team trainings. I remember when I started in Germany, I felt that some of those people who started were much, much better than me, much, much more systematic, and wanted to build their own team structure and have their own team training. And I learned a lot from them. And then later down the road, I saw that the missing part is not the events, it's actually the business planning sessions, where you get together and spend more hours together. And I would really like to talk about that part today. And I would like to call them more like workshops. Why do we do it? Because what I see is that people sometimes do not have the clarity. They overcomplicate our business. They overcomplicate on how to make a name list. They overcomplicate how to contact people. They overcomplicate how to present. They overcomplicate how to do the test. They overcomplicate how to do the business presentation and overcomplicate so many things. And also, what's really important is the empowerment. The workshop creates a security where you are safe because you are in an environment as well. So I hope that you can use this summer with the local people to meet up and to set some action for the summer and the fall, so you can rank up, so you can fulfill your huge leadership abilities to create new leaders. Because I know this is one of the things I've always said to Örjan. Why don't I have more leaders? How is that so impossible? I think it's impossible. I can't create leaders. I think that I do not have that ability. And that's just a blaming mode. You need to find out how you can bring value to the people who are hungry in your downline, so they again can go out and create their leaders. So we have always talked about, or I talk always about, the why. Because you have the why and you have the how to. Why and the how to. And most people come to me and say, I do not know how to. I didn't know how to either. But my why was really, really big. I didn't want to go to work every single morning, throwing the kids in the car, in the snow, trying to get on time to work. I didn't want to get control of the time that I was rushing back from my work, where I tried to cook some food pretty quick and get them to their leisure activities. I just wanted out. And Cincino is the vehicle. So the why will grow also when you get to director, when you get to crown, when you see what's possible to do with Cincino, your why will grow and grow and grow. But your why will drive your how to. So what we talk about when we do these workshops, and I really want you to write this down. If you manage to get a person who never dare to stand in front of anyone or to express their why, and you make them sit down, you make them prepare, you trigger them by telling different stories, what Cincino can mean to you, then they need to get up. It can be just 15, 20, 30 people in the room, and they need to, with a couple of sentences, tell their why. What is the magic by doing this? It's because you put your own word, you say it loud, and that's something else than just writing it down in your own dark room. And when you have that, when you say it, then you will also find out how to. So that's why this is one of the crucial things to work with on a workshop. What I also see, the second part that we are really going into when we have our academies or workshops or business planning sessions, is to work with your Cincino identity. Most people, or actually in my team, I think most of my partners have not been doing network marketing before. So it's a total new world to them. And if you support them with their story, if you manage to create their identity within Cincino, they will never stop talking about it when they meet people, because they will feel so secure when people ask, what do you do? And this I also have seen the power of being in front of people saying this. And I think you, Mai, you are on the call today. I remember when we have had different workshops, different academies, and I know that this was not something that you really wanted to do. And through, I think we have had 2, 3, 4 different workshops where we have been in a smaller group together with the Thomas group here in Norway. And I see the power that he did, getting one by one in front of the other people and sharing your why and sharing your Cincino identity. And for each time you did it, it got stronger and stronger. And now it's not a problem for you to be on stage and share a 5-minute story, a 10-minute story. So this is why it's important also to get this in your bone marrow, so it comes like this when you meet someone. And like I told before, I had a coaching here a couple of weeks ago from a person that I was thinking, she is a leader. She is really good in what she does. She seems really confident and she knows why she does Cincino. But what she told me was, I have 140 name list, a name list with 140 names. And I do not know how to start. I do not know how to contact them. For me, it's easy to contact people who work in the segment as I do, because there I feel really confident. It was the same to me. It's not a coincidence that I have many physiotherapists in my downline. I think it's because I speak that language. I could say that. So I have found an amazing opportunity where I can help my patients, my clients to get more healthy, to get a speedy recovery, to get better results on my treatments. And not only that, I don't need to have a patient every 30 minutes to have an income. I can actually take 6 months off and I can still have my same salary. And then they listen because they don't want to be stuck in a room and need to save all the year through to have like 2 weeks of holiday. So I felt really confident talking to therapists because this was an opportunity that could make them free by doing good. So what I had problems with was talking to entrepreneurs, businessmen especially, because as a woman, I felt that was sponsoring up. But when you just try to do it, when you try to change your language, and this is why you should work with a name list, because you need to change your language regarding who is on there and how you contact them. What do we see when we work with this? We see that the yes rate on getting meetings, the yes rate of getting partners involved gets much higher because we customize why they should listen to us with a language that they understand. And when I talked to this lady, and she had a big chicken list, people that she really would love to have in the business, but she didn't dare to talk to them, I just said, right behind the name, what can Cincino do for them? Why do you want this person in the business? And what are their big personality? Now I don't know the English word, but what are their personality which could be a good fit for this business? So that's why when you sit in a workshop and you get 2 and 2 people together, and what I always do, I pick up people, I don't even know them, in front of everyone else, and I ask them to give me a name. I ask them to tell me about the person, and by doing this identity and story first, and the why, going over to work with the name list, you put that together and they will feel much more confident to contact their chicken list people. So that's also something that we really focus on when we do workshops. And then people are so afraid of being salesy, right? Because what I want you to think of is you have a great workshop if you can simplify, if you can duplicate, and if you focus on value. That's the number one. And then we want them to focus on also why should people use the products and why should they use the business as their vehicle. And I think people are too scared. They have fear of judgment. They have fear that they will quit because they are not getting anywhere. They are very worried about being salesy. And they fear also the big complexity of what we do. So to build confidence on going out and do the Cincino business, we train on what kind of questions should you ask so that the person don't even understand you have pitched them on the product or on the business. So an example can be like, now in the summertime, people are more open for conversations. They're more relaxed. So instead of you going in and trying to convince people to try the products, doing a test or to do the business, you should build up relationships, ask them questions, And this needed to be trained in your team. I know that all of you on the call don't need this training, but I want you to understand the power if you do it with your partners and if you do it in a group. Some people have been through a lot of rejection, and by helping them, leading them into the right way of asking questions can be the defining moment where they actually lose the fear, lose the salesy feeling, because they will feel that they're only helping. So it's a different that when you ask a person about themselves, and people love to talk about their aches and pains and all the sad things in their life. And what I have learned is to ask or just say, wow, you can't have it like this for the rest of your life, can you? If it is like back pain, or if it's like migraine, or whatever it must be. Or if it's like, I can't afford going on holiday with my children. I haven't been doing that for 10 years. We do not have the money. Or I'm not able to buy a car. Or I can't pay for my mortgage. It can be many things. And it's the same question you ask all the time, or it's the same sentence. Wow, this sounds really bad. Do you have a plan? And then you just sip it. I think we talk too much. Just sip it. When you ask a question, be quiet. Because the magic happens when you let other people speak. And they actually will give you the tool to continue the conversation, so you are leading into the opportunity of Zinzino. So when then they say that, I have tried this, I have tried that, if it comes to health, or I have 3 jobs, I have tried to do other like network marketing, or it can be many things that they have been doing to increase their income. You can say to them, I really understand that this has been hard for you, but if I can show you, and then it can be a test that shows how you are doing on your inside, or if it's a business that can get you out of these problems, then you have an amazing opportunity to continue a conversation about our products or our business. But this is practice, practice, practice. And that's why I think for you, all you leaders, if you train your people to get really confident on this, you will see huge improvements when it comes to customer growth and partner growth during July, August, and September. Why is this important? Because you will have so many people in the pipeline who needs to get their 4 and 10 customer points, and then 25. Then you will have lots of people who need their 2 and their 4 within the next 120 days. What does that do for you? If you have enough people in that pipeline, you will hit your new rank, if you want it or not, just by training your people well. If people also know how to answer the objection handling, what I really love nowadays, I see there is a new wave of young people joining the business. And I think that's in many countries, it's in many lines. And I also see that with my own children. Yesterday, my boys had a team meeting here in our house. And I asked my son, do you want me to join? And he's like, oh no, we do it on our own. And I said, are you fine with all those objection handlings? Because they get a lot of, oh, is this a pyramid scheme? Is your product as good as you think? I think your tests are just fake. But he said, I have learned to answer all of these questions. And I feel really safe about it. Why do you think it's like that? It's because they used me on their team meetings earlier. I asked them to ask all of the questions they met, all the objections they met from their parents, from their siblings, from their friends, from their colleagues. And through going through all of this, they have answer to everything, which again makes them feel safe. So when you look at I can't talk enough about this wheel of comfort, fear zone, learning zone, and growth zone. Because I can't talk enough about how much I have changed. When you think about having fear of picking the phone up, I went weeks and weeks with my name list because I didn't dare to call, I didn't dare to push the green button. I didn't travel because I had a fear of going on flights. I was thinking if I go into this plane, I will die. When I landed, I promised myself I will never, ever, ever go on a plane again. I also had very big fear of getting in front of other people talking. I was always the person at the back of the room, sitting there, never raised my hand. I had fear. But to go out and build your own business, you need to go through this and you need to find out in your downline where are the stopping points from your team members, from your hungry ones who really wants to build a business to get one step further. To me, I had a huge lack of self-confidence. And I've tried to find excuses all the time. When I was calling someone I knew, I was like, oh no, she's now on the way to pick up her children from kindergarten. Or, she must be cooking food now for the children. Or, she's probably putting the children to bed. And then it's too late. Oh, thank God. So I always found excuses and I was very affected on others' opinions. When my friend said to me, like, I think that you are really getting scammed. I think that you will just see in a couple of months, this will just break down. You will fail. And now, going through these learning zones, because my why was so strong, I acquired new skills. I dealt with the challenges and problems because I was listening to calls like this. I was listening to books from people that has been going through this before. I learn a lot by listening to my leader council members when they do trainings, when Örjan does trainings, when Hilde does trainings. I learn a lot through their stories. And then my comfort zone gets extended and extended and extended. And now it's just unbelievable what has happened through going through this. So I hope that you will be able now to do this. I need to stop share. I would love to see you through the summer with doing some of this. I don't know if you are able to meet your people. If you have some people staying home, please, please, please reach out to them and listen to where they want to be before our amazing annual event. We have like the most incredible company. They have overpromised year by year to me, to everyone, I think. If you do this, the outcome will be that your partners will feel proud, they will feel safe on recommended our opportunity, our products. They will be shown how simple it can be. You need to show the way. You as directors and above need to show the way of simplicity. Because if you are overcomplicating, and now I'm talking, it's me hanging there on the wall, doing that, overcomplicating things, being the little sister of Paul Clayton, trying to know everything, I stop my growth. You don't need to be an expert, and that is getting us to results and our people to results. And just to give them also a confidence that they can grow this business in their own pace and still be successful. That's very powerful because not everyone runs through the ranks. So to keep them motivated, I think a workshop can create that belief. And also, they see that they are not doing this alone, because sometimes you feel really lonely in this industry. Like in my closest neighborhood, I'm the only one. They do not know that I'm doing this, or they do know, but they are not willing to do what I do. And to me, being in smaller or bigger groups, events, for example, giving me the security that I am not doing this alone. And I feel that I belong to Sensino. I feel like I belong to my team. I feel like I belong to this industry. And then you get this action-driven team. And we are driven by stories, sharing what we did, sharing what we needed to do to get through from that comfort zone into the growth zone. I think that's most important at all you can do this summer. So I want you now over the summer to identify in your team who are really hungry. I love people reaching out to me. I had a team call. I have that every month for the Norwegian group, for the DACH group, and for the UK and Ireland group. And I identify by just looking, like you can see here as well, people who are really hungry. And you need to identify them now in your team, because if you do it now and you make like a plan so you can enter September like a explosion, like I said in the beginning, with a full calendar. That's what you should thrive for in July and August. Fill up your diary in September minute by minute. So you can go all in when everyone are back. You can go all in and focus on planting seeds now through the summertime. And like Dave said, use this customer campaign to make sure that all your existing partners use it to get to 25 customer points. What can you do with all these rewards that you will get, the double rewards from getting 10 and 10 and 10 customer points? Use that as a competition. If you order like collagen, you can have like competitions where you can give them collagen. You can do that for your customers as well. So, which again will increase your customer number. And then if you follow up on old contacts as well, telling them about your plan for the fall will prepare them to be ready when you really want to rock. So even though I'm going on holiday on Thursday for 2 weeks, but I still have a lot of plans for August and September already. Why? Because we have planned a lot of new partners celebrating in Oslo with new ranks, and that needs to be prepared now. So then you will have a lot to do with onboarding in September. So get on those small local meetings. Try this out yourself. This was just one small part I wanted to share with you today that I have experienced has been giving more people confidence. And I have seen through the couple of years we have done it now that people step up and take responsibility because they get used to standing in front of people. Just 1 minute, then 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes. And they grow as a person, as a leader, and a future leader that can lead leader. That's what we want. So thank you all for listening to me. I hope I didn't talk too fast for you translating. Was it okay? Okay, Gudrun, thank you so much. And I wish you a lovely July. Go for it. I have set new goals. I want 27 presidents in my team. That's my goal, my long-term goal. So I have already got messages from my team who wants to be one of them. And that's where we are working against for the next upcoming years. So the future is so exciting. Over to you, Dave.